Hey, welcome to the channel. If you like stories where humanity refuses to kneel, subscribe, and stay with us. Let's begin. The stars were wrong. 1,000 alien fleets blotted out the sun over Earth, and their herald laughed in a voice like grinding glass. Behold the slow ones he broadcast across every channel. Every mind, fragile, finite, forgotten, bombs fell. Cities screamed, humanity bled, but we didn't break, we waited. The sky over New Kyoto cracked, open like a skull. Plasma lances carved the skyline into molten so. Ribbon skyscrapers wept steel, a child's shoe tumbled through smoke, soul still warm. High above, in the belly of the Vayari dreadnought Keshvorin, Admiral Valsar watched the feed with crystalline eyes. His mandibles clicked in amusement. "Observe," he said. Voice smooth as oil over razors. They run, they hide. They die in packs. His bridge crew, tall, iridescent, eight-limbed, rippled with laughter. A junior tactician. Projected casualty counts upon. Million in 6 hours, projected extinction 47 hours. Valsar leaned closer to the holoscreen. A human soldier, face half-burned. Armor fused to flesh, crawled from rubble. Dragging a wounded comrade. He pressed a kiss to the man's forehead, then stood, reloaded, fired upward until the rifle clicked empty. Valsar tilted his head. Curious, pointless, but curious. On the ground, Captain Elias Kane tasted copper and ash. His left eye was gone. His squad was gone. Only Private Ruiz remained. Gutshot whispering in Spanish, Kane knelt. "Not yet," he said. Ruiz tried to laugh. Blood bubbled. "Tell my mom. I kept the faith." Kane nodded once, then he stood, slung Ruiz over his shoulder, and walked into the fire. No one saw him reach. The sewer grate, no one saw him descend. But the Vayari did see the counter. Tick, Efranali. Dead, then it froze. A glitch. Valsar frowned. Find the anomaly, deep beneath the city. Kane laid Ruiz against cold pipe. The private's pulse fluttered like a trapped moth. Kane opened a rusted locker. Inside, a jury-rigged transmitter, a coil of D-cord, and a single photograph, his daughter, age 6, smiling in sunlight that no longer existed. He stared at it, then crushed it in his fist. "Ruiz," he said. "You still with me?" A weak nod. "Good, because we're about to teach them what happens when you corner something that refuses to die." He keyed the transmitter. Static, then a voice. Female. Calm, familiar. "Ghost Actual, this is Nest, you're late." Kane's mouth twitched. The closest thing to a smile he had left. "Traffic," he said. Nest replied, "We have a package. Coordinates inbound, but Kane, they're coming for you. All of them, let them." He looked at Ruiz. The private's eyes were glass. Kane closed them gently, then stood, above. The Vayari fleet adjusted formation. Scanners swept the ruins. Nothing. Valsar's mandibles stilled. Thermal bloom, Sector 9. Human life signs 1. A pause. "Impossible," said the tactician. "Radiation should have. Send the Reavers." From the dreadnought's belly, drop pods screamed earthward. Each carried a Reaver, 3 meters of claw, blade and contempt. They landed in the sewer mouth. Steam hissed. Kane heard them coming. Boots no, talons on. Metal. He primed the DEET cord, set the timer, then walked deeper. Into the dark. The first Reaver entered. Its optics glowed violet. It sniffed, tracked. Blood. It never saw the wire. The explosion collapsed. The tunnel dust choked the air. When it settled, 3 Reavers were paced. One limped forward, dragging a severed arm. Kane stepped from the shadows, in his hand a broken rebar spear. The Reaver hissed. Kane said nothing. They met in the dark, blade on metal, flesh on fury. The Reaver was faster, stronger. It pinned Kane to the wall, Mandix flaring with triumph. Kane smiled with bloodied teeth. "Look up," he whispered. The Reaver did. Above, the sewer ceiling, lined with shaped charges, stolen Vayari plasma cells, and one very pissed-off human. Kane pressed the trigger. Light heat silence. On the Keshvoran. Alarm screamed. Veilsar stared at the feed. A mushroom cloud rising from the ruins. Perfect, terrible, human. Status? He demanded. The tactician's voice trembled. Reaver squad. Eliminated? Single combatant? No tech signature, no support. Veilsar's claws dug into the console. Find him. But the feed looped. Over and over, Kane walking out of the fire. Face blackened, carrying Ruiz's dog tags. He looked up, straight, into the drone lens, and spoke not to the Vayari, to humanity. We're still here. The transmission cut. Veilsar felt something cold crawl up his spine. Not fear, not yet, but the first tremor of a question he couldn't answer. What if they don't stop? 3 days later, the galaxy watched. Theta, Vayari Empire declared victory. Earth was glass, humanity was ash. They held a triumph on Vayar Prime. Parades of war beasts, holograms of burning cities, children waved flags stitched from human skin. Veilsar stood on the dais, metals gleaming like frost. He raised a claw. Let the slow ones be a lesson, he proclaimed. Power is swift, dominion is absolute. Resistance. The sky split. A human frigate, cobbled from scrap. Prayer and spite, punched through the atmosphere. No shields, no stealth, just engine screaming. Like the damned, it fired one. Shot. The orbital defense grid shattered. Panic rippled through the crowd. On the frigate's bridge, Commander Aisha Nest gripped the helm. Her hands shook. Not from fear, from rage. Target the palace, she said. The gunner hesitated. Ma'am, civilians are already dead, she finished. Do it. The cannon roared. Veilsar dove as marble exploded around him. Shrapnel carved his face. For the first time, he bled. In the chaos, a transmission crackled across every frequency. Kane's voice, raw, quiet, unstoppable. You wanted us gone. We're just getting started. Nest's frigate didn't survive the descent. It crashed into the palace spire, a burning arrow through the heart of Empire. But from the wreckage, figures emerged, humans, not many, maybe 20. They moved like ghosts, knives made from starship hulls, armor patched with duct, tape and hope. One carried a banner. Child's drawing. Stick figures holding hands beneath a blue circle on earth. Veilsar staggered to his feet. His guards formed a wall. The human stopped 10 meters away. Kane stepped forward. His face was a ruin, one eye milky, the other burned. He raised Ruiz's dog. Tags, let them catch the light, Veilsar snarled. You, Kane spoke over him, voice low. You glassed our world, killed our children, called us slow. He took one step. We're not slow, we're patient. Another step. You measure war in hours, we measure it in generations. The humans behind him raised weapons, crude, beautiful, forged in the dark. Veilsar's guards fired. The humans didn't flinch. Bullets sparked off scavenged shields. One fell, then another. But the line held. Kane kept walking. Veilsar screamed for orbital strike. His comms officer whispered, Sir. The fleet's not responding because above, the stars were moving, not Vayari ships. Human ships, all hundreds, thousands built. In secret, launched from asteroid tombs. Crude. By the dead who refused to stay buried. They didn't fire, they just arrived, silent, endless, a wall of rust and wrath. On Vayar Prime. The sky went dark. Kane stopped. 1 meter from Veilsar, the Admiral's claws trembled. Kane leaned in. You taught us pain, he said. We taught ourselves purpose. He pressed the dog tags into Veilsar's hand. Remember him, remember all of them, because we do. Behind him, the human line parted. A child stepped forward. Same girl from the photograph, alive. She held a detonator. Kane looked at her. She Daunted, he turned back to Valsar. "Run," he said. The Admiral ran. The child pressed the button. The palace didn't explode. It vanished. A clean, perfect sphere, carved out of reality by an ancient weapon humans weren't supposed to understand. When the light faded, only Kane and the girl remained. She looked up at him. "Is it over?" He knelt, touched her cheek. "No," he said. "It's just beginning." Above, the human fleet opened fire, not on cities, on the Vayari suns. One by one they went dark. Across the Empire, screens flickered. Kane's face appeared. Not triumphant, not cruel, just tired and absolute. "You wanted to see what happens when the slow ones survive?" He smiled. It wasn't kind. "We don't just survive, we outlast." The feed cut to black. In the silence, a single line lingered. Everyone else saw weakness. Humanity saw a reason to fight harder.